Tiffany Henyard in court today over illegal appointments she allegedly made for several positions inside the village.
I'm a private investigator. I've got some witnesses career. Inside I have from the United States District Courtroom and District.
Tiffany Henyard's world, once marked by power and prestige, has crumbled under a barrage of scandals, lawsuits, and public disgrace. Once calling herself a super mayor, Henyard now faces eviction from her home, removal from her position as Thornton Township supervisor, and a federal investigation. How did someone with such local authority fall so far? From unpaid rent to allegations of corruption, we're uncovering the events that led to her dramatic downfall.
There's been out here a few times to serve them. For a household that makes, over $350,000 a year.
Let's start with the eviction that set the internet ablaze. Tiffany Henyard and her boyfriend, Cal Woods, are being forced out of the suburban home they've lived in since 2021. Their landlord, Janetta Hull, claims the couple hasn't paid rent since August, leaving her thousands of dollars in the red. Once a close friend who even supported Henyard's campaign, Hull now feels betrayed. The rent, which increased to $2,400 a month due to rising property taxes, became a major point of contention. Hull alleges that Woods claimed they couldn't afford the new rate despite the couple earning a combined income of over $300,000 from Henyard's positions as mayor and Thornton Township supervisor, along with Woods' high-paying township job. For a household that makes over $350,000 a year, I'm asking, how can you not pay your rent?
The home that she leased to Mayor Tiffany Henyard has filed eviction papers. She says Henyard has not paid her rent, and now...
But the story takes an even wilder turn. Not only did Henyard and Woods allegedly stop paying rent, but Hull also claims they changed the locks and garage codes to keep her out of the property. If I try to go over there with a locksmith and change them back, I think she's probably going to have me arrested, Hull told reporters. After filing eviction papers in September, Hull expressed her frustration, saying Cook County sheriffs have been unable to serve the papers neither at the house nor at Village Hall. Henyard appears untouchable, at least for now. Hull, who hasn't worked in months and relies on the rental income to survive, is at her breaking point. At some point, karma is going to catch up to you. Just pay your rent, she said, adding that even if the couple eventually pays, she still wants them out.
Making a late appearance at the Dalton Village Board meeting this evening. That meeting was being held at the Park District building since Village Hall cannot legally accommodate the crowds at a tip.
Just when it seemed things couldn't get worse for Henyard, they did. Days after news of her eviction broke, she suffered another major setback, this time to her political career. At a Democratic caucus held to select nominees for Thornton Township's April election, Henyard was blocked from running for re-election as supervisor. The gymnasium, filled with residents and political figures, became the setting for a public rejection of her leadership. The caucus, overseen by State Senator Napoleon Harris, was chaotic from the start. Henyard arrived late wearing a bold hot pink pantsuit and immediately began accusing Harris of voter suppression, claiming her supporters were being locked out of the venue while Harris's allies were allowed in first. Had us in the cold, letting two people in at a time, Henyard shouted to reporters, "We had a long line around the block and they never let us in." Harris's team quickly denied the allegations, with his attorney explaining that the gym had simply reached capacity due to early arrivals and that no one was intentionally excluded. People were allowed in at the appropriate time, Harris stated, dismissing Henyard's claims as unfounded. Inside, however, the atmosphere was tense. Many attendees, frustrated with Henyard's controversies and abrasive leadership style, made their dissatisfaction known. The caucus lasted just 7 minutes, with Harris and his slate of candidates securing a decisive victory for the Democratic nomination in Thornton Township. Henyard, meanwhile, was left seething. "Illegitimate Napoleon," she shouted at Harris as the crowd erupted in cheers. For many, it was a long-awaited moment. As Henyard stormed out, attendees began chanting "Nana, hey, hey," "Kiss him goodbye," turning the event into a symbolic farewell to the embattled supervisor.
Thing to win, but let's do it properly and let the people really have a voice. The people's voice was taken.
Henyard's removal wasn't just about caucus rules. Her failure to present a full slate of candidates, including the omission of a certified assessor on her ticket, played a part in her downfall. However, the caucus exposed a deeper issue: a community increasingly fed up with Henyard's scandals. Critics argued that her time as supervisor had been marred by accusations of lavish spending, self-promotion, and misuse of taxpayer funds. And it wasn't only residents who were frustrated. Social media has been unforgiving in its criticism. One user even commented, "Stop saying misuse funds, she flat out stole tax dollars and blew it lavishly. That's not misused funds." Another added, How did she get to this point? A few years ago, she got busted for breaking into cars. She's always been a professional thief. She just recently added con man to her resume. These comments highlight the mounting frustration with Henyard's leadership and the feeling that her actions have finally caught up to her.
There's 2 meetings in different locations. It was a little confusing for some residents, but the meeting here at Village Hall canceled after a few minutes because they didn't have.
But Henyard isn't backing down without a fight. She has vowed to sue everyone involved in the caucus, insisting the process was rigged and illegal. "I will be suing everybody tomorrow. This is illegal, illegal," as she shouted as she left the caucus. Her attorney, Max Solomon, supported her claims, accusing Harris of implementing unfair rules at the last minute to disqualify her. Napoleon Harris is a coward. Henyard said he is a coward for not allowing the people to be heard. Despite her defiance, Henyard's list of controversies continues to grow. In addition to the eviction and the caucus debacle, she is under federal investigation for alleged misuse of taxpayer funds. Earlier this year, former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, hired as a special investigator, revealed that Dalton's general fund balance had plummeted from $61 million in 2022 to a $3.65 million deficit by May 2024. Lightfoot's report also uncovered shocking spending habits, including $43,000 spent on Amazon in a single day and over $85,000 on a poorly attended concert. Residents have accused Henyard of using taxpayer money for personal luxuries such as first-class flights, beauty vendors, and promotional billboards featuring herself. One trustee even compared her leadership to a dictatorship, prioritizing her image over the community's needs. But what truly stunned residents was the revelation that Henyard allegedly pushed for a massive salary cut for future township supervisors, proposing a reduction in pay from over $200,000 to just $20,000 annually. Critics swiftly labeled the move a blatant attempt to discourage competition and ensure no one could replace her, even if she were forced out. Municipal Attorney Bert Odelson condemned the tactic, calling it so illegal in so many ways, pointing out that it violated multiple state laws and undermined public trust in local government.
That meeting was improperly called and improperly held. The residents of
Even Henyard's cancer charity, once a cornerstone of her public image, is now under scrutiny. The Tiffany Henyard CS Foundation, which claimed to empower cancer survivors, was recently ordered by the Illinois Attorney General to stop accepting donations for failing to register with the state. Critics argue the charity became yet another tool for self-promotion, with little transparency about where the funds were going. "It's just one more thing she's using to boost her image while the rest of us suffer," said community activist Stephanie Weidman. For many, these revelations have solidified the belief that Henyard's time in office has been more about personal gain than public service. The financial mismanagement has had real consequences for Dalton's residents. The Illinois State Comptroller's Office cut off funding to the village after Henyard failed to provide the required financial reports. Meanwhile, the town's deficit continues to grow, leaving trustees scrambling to address the situation. Residents have had enough, with many calling for Henyard's resignation. Deborah Jordan, a lifelong Dalton resident, said she's done nothing but embarrass this town. It's time for her to go.
Oh, let's point the finger to Tiffany or allow me. Come over it. Now it's time for me.
Yet Henyard remains unshaken. She has announced plans to run for a second term as mayor of Dalton, despite growing opposition. At a recent village board meeting, Henyard reaffirmed her confidence, stating, "No, I am going to come through with a landslide just like Trump did. Like it or not, I am your mayor." Her bold declaration, however, was met with boos as residents turned their backs on her while she spoke. Trustee Jason House, who is also running for mayor, pointed out that morale in the town's police department, already struggling without a permanent chief, has hit rock bottom. With lawsuits, investigations, and public backlash stacking up, Henyard's future is increasingly uncertain. Can she recover from this wave of scandals, or is her political career officially over? Some of her supporters, like Keith Price, still believe she has a chance. "I think enough people know her name to write her in, and I believe we could still win it," Price said, referring to the possibility of Henyard running as a write-in candidate for Thornton Township supervisor, but others remain doubtful. Henyard's story is far from over, but one thing is clear: the self-proclaimed supermayor has fallen from grace in spectacular fashion. With eviction proceedings underway, investigations looming, and her political power fading, the question remains, how much lower can she go? What do you think? Is this the end of Tiffany Henyard's career, or will she find a way to bounce back? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this ongoing saga. Until next time.